Well, thank you, Marko, for joining me today. It's great to have you on. I'm going to hand it over to you to officially introduce yourself and your brand, and then we'll dive into some questions.
Nice. Well, thanks, Lindsay. My name is Marko Karakasevic. I'm the Master Distiller at my family distillery up in Mendocino County, Ukiah, California. And we make Charbay spirits, whiskeys, rums, vodkas, brandies. Yeah, let's see. Here's one of them. This is a trophy of mine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And yeah, thank you so much for having me on board today.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on with us. So Charbay is, I think, one of the oldest or older distilleries here in the North Bay. Is that true?
Yeah, we all started in the early 80s. There was St. George Spirits, and then they started in 81, 82. We started in 83.
Okay.
And we're family owned and operated. It was my mom and dad and myself, and we're making a living.
Yeah, that's great. What was your guys' first spirit that you started with?
Well, we actually had a winery and brandy and distillery attached. So we had a winery and brandy distillery combo.
Okay.
So we were making wines and we were making brandy.
Okay, got it.
That's why my mom and dad bought a brand new Charente cognac still from the Prulot family in Cognac back in
wow.
Yeah, back in 1983. They bought it brand new. And
is that what's behind you?
Yeah, in the back.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. And so I was 10 when we started, and
how cool to have watch that evolution and really be a part of the company's journey at 10. Wow, I couldn't that's awesome.
Yeah, my first job was in the still.
Cleaning.
Yeah. Overhead. Felt like forever,
I bet. So. Yeah. I don't think I envy the cleaning of any still or fermentation tank.
Yeah. Well, it's part of the deal.
Of course.
Especially when you're 10.
Yeah. You fit really well in there, I bet.
I used to fit in there really well. So now it's like, ooh. Okay, somebody else get in here, please. Yeah. So, we've been up and running for 37 years now, family owned and operated, and now we're a team of 7 people at Charbay.
That's great.
And my wife Jenny and I are actually we're buying the distillery from my mom and dad. So
congratulations!
Thank you.
That's big news.
Yeah, so they're retired. We're making a living, taking care of my family, taking care of our employees, and plugging away.
That's great. And cool. You guys have some really fun collaborations with some other local purveyors. I know it's the R5.
Yeah.
That's real tasty.
Yeah. We have a bottle of that around here somewhere. Not much left in this bottle. But, this is the R5, Lot 5, and we are donating $10,000 towards the Stand for Kindness charity, which helps fire survivors from the fires that have been raging up and down California the past years as well.
Yeah, that's a great initiative. I didn't know that. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, we're doing what we can. I mean, man.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy couple of years, with everything going on right now and everything that's happening, and so doing what we can.
Well, that's great. So on top of your awesome collaborations with other local purveyors, I mean, you guys have a pretty extensive lineup. I've definitely enjoyed some of your Myra Lemon vodka is delicious, but what is your favorite? What's your go-to?
Oh man,
that must be hard.
Wow. I love our vodkas with a splash of soda water. The whiskeys that we make are super flavorful. They also make fantastic cocktails too if you want with them, but just drink those on the rock, neat. But my very, very most go-to, man, that Meyer Lemon's hard to beat.
Yeah, it's pretty tasty.
The green tea vodka that we make with a splash of soda water is really hard to beat. Or mix it with lemonade with a lemon twist.
Oh, yeah, that sounds delicious.
Oh, my God. We've poured probably 15,000 of those in the past 15, 16 years that we've been making the green tea. That's what our go-to for charity events when we
Nice.
help out.
Sounds really refreshing.
It's refreshing. It's super easy. You fill a glass full of ice halfway up with the vodka, top it off with lemonade and maybe soda water, give it a roll pour, lemon twist. Bam. There you go.
Yeah, perfect.
So that's hard to beat. We make rum too once in a while, and man, that rum, there's something, the type of still that you use to make spirits makes a huge difference. And when you use a cognac still as a distiller, you're able to focus on the body of the distillate on the first run and then the flavor on the second run. And when you use sugarcane from Maui, back in the day when they were growing sugarcane on Maui, we really captured that island cane. And
I bet.
Man, that rum is good. I didn't even want to sell it when we bottled it. And my wife's Jane's like, "We're selling some of it." I'm like, "No, we're not."
Is there any more of it still anywhere?
We have some, but it's really expensive. It's from 05, and it's a pure trophy. And we sell it in the U.S. and we sell a little pinch in Zurich, Switzerland as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, boy, it's so hard to say, what's my favorite go-to, but
well, you listed a couple really great ones. I mean, those vodkas and the cocktails that you mentioned, and yes, drinking your guys' whiskey straight is also extremely enjoyable for sure.
Yeah. We have a 1989 brandy
that
we barrel aged for 24 years, and it's 92 proof, and
wow,
that's tasty.
I bet that sounds like a really special occasion kind of enjoyment glass sipper.
Yeah, in the winter time, we have the skunk train up in Phillips, and they have a Santa Claus Express. So we take the kids on that, and the kids are just all over the place, and they're juicing them up with hot chocolate. So we put a little hot chocolate in our brandy.
There you go, perfect.
And it makes that ride all that more special.
Yeah, I bet. So what have you been enjoying during these times?
Well, beers from the Bear Republic Brewery, and just making simple drinks at home. I love just splashes and dashes.
It's a great way to describe it. Splashes and dashes. I like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't need much.
It doesn't. I mean, especially with our vodkas that are flavored by us having real fresh picked fruit harvested in their own season, and then we shred the fruit, extract the fruit, and then integrate that flavor into a vodka, and we make real fruit flavored vodka. You really don't have to do too much to it because it's already flavored with real fruit, and it's got all the skins that we extract all the bitters from the pith from the whole fruit, so it's got built-in natural fresh picked fruit bitters from the fruit itself. So you can use the blood orange as a modifier in cocktails as well if you need that delicate top note of orange and the bitters from orange or Meyer lemon.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool. I mean, you guys, so you've obviously been in this business since the beginning, since you were almost, well, I mean, of course you have a choice, right? So I feel like you must have actively chosen though to continue on the path, right?
I did. It's pretty amazing. I was born into it, And more and more and more, I started learning more when I was a kid and you know, teenager and stuff, and started brewing beer and learning that the same beer that I'm brewing, you know, with 2-row malted barley and hops, making a tasty beer. Well, it's 6, 7, 8% alcohol, and learning that, you know, whiskey distilleries, we never made whiskey because that was not in the plan, you know.
Right.
And because my dad's from Serbia, and so they focused on brandies.
Oh, okay.
And so, but being in a distilling family and learning what American whiskey distilleries were doing, and they're using 2-row malted barley. I was like, well, I just use 2-row malted barley. I just made this beer with 2-row malted barley, but I have hops in it. I could distill that and make really neat whiskey.
Yeah.
That was in the 80s. And then in the 90s, we had the opportunity to take 24,000 gallons of a Czech-style Pilsner lager, true bottom fermenter yeast, lager at 38 degrees for almost 3 months. And then we took it, and Dad and I distilled it 24 hours a day with that still, and made 23 barrels of whiskey back in 1999.
How interesting.
Yeah, and when we released it after 2 years of barrel aging, there was no other Czech-style Pilsner beer distilled into whiskey and barrel aged and put into the bottle anywhere on the planet. So yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the first one to ever distill beer, delicious beer, you know, on the planet, but you know, it's something that I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and I think from a lot of these conversations that I've had with local distillers, you know, it's a lot about, you know, being creative and inventive and trying it and seeing how it turns out, you know, and
sure.
And just kind of letting that imagination run. Like, well, if it works in this, like, why couldn't it work in that format? And like seeing what that end result is. And it seems to have been wildly successful for everyone's you know, adventures and experiments, which is awesome.
It's an amazing time to be living on this planet with the creativity of so many distillers out there now. I mean, when we started, there was 3 micro distilleries in the United States, and people are like, what's a micro distillery?
Right.
It's a small family owned and operated business. You're looking at us and that's it. You know, I make it and I go out and sell it, you know?
Right.
And so now I think there's like over 2,000 micro distilleries all over the U.S. It's crazy.
It's exciting to see that they've had a resurgence and that they are, you know, I think they're finally, I feel like I read a statistic where we finally are at the same number of micro distilleries pre-prohibition or near it, which I thought was really interesting, like random fact. So I think it's awesome that it is kind of these nuanced little pockets of creators making delicious stuff, which is awesome. Yeah,
it's crazy times. I mean, especially like right now, what we're in and stuff. It's not the easiest of times either.
No,
right now too.
Of course not. Yeah, I know you guys have been really busy making hand sanitizer, which is a great initiative since so many folks are in need of that right now.
Yeah, my friend has 13 elementary schools in the community, and they're about ready to open up again. So he just came over today to get a sample and W-9s, and you know, get hooked up as a vendor, and you know, we're helping out the community.
Good, that's exciting. That's exciting to hear that the schools are getting to reopen. I'm hoping maybe summer school and summer camps will be something of our near future. I'm sure parents would be appreciative of that.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah. That's the general sentiment I've heard.
Oh man, those kids need to be running around outside, you know, with other kids, you know, and just getting the wiggles out.
Yeah, I agree. I don't have children, but I feel that same way about my dog, which you know, she just wants to like have friends and play and, you know, run around. So
yeah, I mean, everyone's used to it, you know, being around other people.
Yeah,
it's time.
Yeah, it's definitely anxiously awaited, that's for sure.
Yeah,
So you mentioned obviously you guys are up in Mendocino County, but you distribute all over California. I'm assuming you guys are nationally distributed and internationally distributed. You mentioned or Switzerland.
Yeah, we have, we're in about 30 states in the US. And, you know, through the years, we've picked up a couple of accounts around the world here and there. But mostly, you know, California is our home state. So it's number one. And, you know, Florida's doing well, Texas doing well, Missouri, you know, and New York is just, you know, it's good. It's hard, you know, it's being a small producer. You know, you have to sell your product too.
Right.
And, you know, if you don't have someone on the street selling your product for you, somebody else does. And in California, we haven't been able to sell retail direct to customers who stop by, and it's been a frustration, but it's just the way it is. I mean, there's a new license that's available, but we don't qualify because we also import an amazing tequila called Tequila Tapatio.
Oh,
Distribute that all over the U.S. So that we don't qualify for that. And then since we make vodka and I source my vodka from another distillery, then I don't qualify for the micro type 7.4 license, even though, you know, I run the still 24 hours a day. Nobody else does. Maybe my dad helps me when we're bottling. I'm in the middle of the bottling line, you know. It's just like, man, it's as craft as it gets, you know, but hey, whatever. So
there's so many different licenses. I briefly looked one time because in getting ready for the distillery festival, I had to like look at what we could apply for and like making sure it was like an educational, all these kinds of things. And I was like, I mean, man, the lingo in those documents and all of the different types of licensing, it's overwhelming to say the least.
Yeah.
Like fine tooth comb, you know, kind of details.
Yeah, you got state level, federal level.
Right.
Yeah. But hey, you know, with more and more distilleries coming in the United States and more distilleries wanting to sell direct to customers in California, you know, maybe the laws will be changed a little bit sooner with the pressure from a larger group of distilleries wanting to do sales direct into California, because if they can do direct sales into California, then we would be able to do sales direct into California as well. So it might work out, but it's just, you know, it's a large territory for spirits, and it's very competitive, and there's, you know, there's laws that are just set up the way they are in California.
Yeah, I know. I do hope that there's some positive change to the laws in California that we've seen kind of temporarily come on board, you know, in light of COVID, but I'm hoping some of them stick around a little bit longer post and, you know, work to the benefit of this micro distiller.
Yeah, you know, they haven't really cracked open any amazing laws for distilleries in California, so to speak. But restaurants, I mean, restaurants are surviving because they can they have food to go and they can make cocktails to go.
Yeah, which is crazy. I was like, I remember when you first kind of even seeing that a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
You know, like the things you don't ever expect to see happen.
Yeah, like, oh, I can get one of those? Oh, I can get two of those to go?
Exactly.
Okay.
But so if somebody did want to find Charbay, I mean, I know I've seen it on some of our local shelves here in Santa Rosa, at independently like owned grocery stores. I live near Pacific Market. I know it's on the shelf there.
Bottle Barn.
Yep. Okay, great. And then
Oliver's,
awesome. Yeah, all great local establishments. Is there like a search inquiry on Charbay's website, like find a locator?
Yeah, I think there is. And if someone needs help, please, you know, give us a call. It's on the website or email, and we're happy it's what we do. We know, I mean, we're happy to communicate as soon as possible with customers looking, because
Yeah.
it's what we do.
Yeah.
So we appreciate the opportunity.
Perfect. And so do you have any fun projects in the pipeline right now?
Well, I distilled some Petite Syrah,
Ooh.
made brandy that we put into big barrels. These are,
Okay.
I can't really tell how big these are, but they're 500 liter, so it's a pungent barrel. It's 132 gallons.
Okay.
And
Beefy.
I love bigger barrels because there's less wood extraction, and
Mm-hmm.
it really shows what you've got in the barrel. So you better have something good in the barrel if you're going to be barrel aging in bigger barrels, and
Right.
we do. So that Petite Syrah is great. Plus, a couple of the barrels are for my sons, so I gave them each a barrel.
Oh.
So when they're in their 14s, 15s, they can figure out what they're going to do with them, sell them, or let them ride.
Yeah.
And
cool.
then we also have some in stainless, aging as eau de vie, because every distillate on the planet comes off the still as crystal clear distillate, because color is a solid.
Right.
So you would never be able to capture that red wine color in the distillate coming off the pipe, because that color has to be melted, and it boils at over 100 degrees Celsius.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have that liquid color that you just melted, and then you got to boil that liquid color, and that's over 100 degrees Celsius as well. So since alcohol and water are vaporizing at the most 100 degrees Celsius, no color comes over the still.
Right.
So all the color stays in the still, and then what you collect is the essential oils and water and alcohol from your distilling material, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
So every distillate is crystal clear. And so we have some aging in stainless, and oh man, Petite Syrah is just amazing. It's floral, it's super fruity, it's super spicy and jammy all at the same time, and concentrated, like 142 proof. And
Cool.
it makes amazing cocktails.
I bet it does. I mean, I like Petite Syrah on its own as a wine, and so I can imagine seeing that translation into a spirit. I bet it's really interesting.
It's amazing. It's 6-1. So if you have the option to distill something delicious, you have the potential of creating something concentrated delicious.
Right.
And that's what we're going after. It's like we make the best products that we can. And it does make sense to use the best ingredients possible, because like I said, you're distilling, for beer, it's 10-1 reduction, because the alcohol is half, it's like
right.
6-7%. And so that aspect, it makes even more sense to use fantastic beer and make a super flavorful whiskey.
Yeah, I mean, when you put it like that, it's kind of like, well, yeah, duh. But that's not always the case.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we've got that going. I've been wanting to do an RTD, ready to drink cocktail, for like 20 years, but 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it just wasn't a viable option. And but now I think it's definitely opened up, and people are making all ranges of cocktails, and so we have some amazing whiskeys that are barrel aged, and so I think I want to start working on a recipe for an amazing Charbay whiskey cocktail.
Yeah, that sounds delicious. Let me know when.
A lot of research, Lindsay. A lot of research going to be going on here.
So under normal circumstances, do you guys do tastings up at the facility? No.
Yeah, I wish. We don't have a tasting room, so to speak, but we do on appointment on very special occasions. We'll do tastings, but not being able to sell retail direct has been it's been a challenge.
Sure.
And, you know, when you have someone come over and you do a tasting and they love it, you can't sell them a single bottle.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you got to go to the store. Like, oh yeah, I'll go to the store. Well,
Right.
you know, it's just not the same.
Right.
So we, you know, we're trying to figure it out, you know, if there's a way to, you know, because we, you know, we're making a living and we do custom bottling. We have customers that we bottle, you know, 70,000 cases for and stuff. And, you
Okay.
know, we're making a living doing that as well. But you know, maybe, you know, maybe it's time to, you know, see if we can separate licenses to and then grab a 74. I mean, we got the whole deck anyways. We might as well, what's one more license, you know?
Right.
So maybe do that. And then if we get that, then, you know, then it would make sense to have a tasting room. But, you know, hey, we just have to be smart about it. So I wish we could do tastings all the time.
Well, maybe in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll
you
add
know,
that to the adventure list
there you go.
on the things on the projects list.
Yeah, it's there. Jenny and I talk about it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
that's nice. Yeah. I mean, it'd be nice. It's like, oh, you like that barrel? Oh, you want a bottle of that? Or you want a bottle of that barrel and a bottle of that barrel? Mix and match 12-pack, 10% discount, throw in free shipping. Yeah, okay. Why not?
Sold. I'll be there tomorrow.
I know how to register and file sales tax. I know how to pay excise tax, and I know how to pay state sales tax and everything. So it's like, come on. But, hey, we'll get there.
Exactly. So what if you could give some advice to somebody interested in joining this crazy adventure, what would it be?
Get on it. You know, the sooner you start, the better. You know, it's a contact sport, and you know, you just got to get into it. You know, and find a distillery that's willing to bring you on as somebody who is brand new, and you know, start from the ground up, because you know that's all.
Yeah, you got to know every piece of it, right? You got to like top to bottom.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of classes now. You know, there's actually, you know, degrees in distilling and stuff now where, you know, in my family now for 13 generations, it's been passed down from generation to generation to generation, the knowledge.
Very cool.
And the definition of master distiller in my family has been the ability to meet and exceed your instructor. So take what you can learn from your family, grandma, aunt, uncle, mother, father, whoever was teaching you,
right,
and do it and add to it and make it better. And it's been pretty cool to know that where to make those cuts and why you're making those cuts there, projecting your thoughts for, you know, 1, 2, 5, 20 years down the road. You know, it depends on what you're making. You know, making cuts is going to make a big difference, and learning that. And it took me 26 years, and I had to not only make something as good or better than my dad, but he also threw in, and you got to make something that the family has never made before and start selling and sell it. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. So I grew up making eau de vie, and so I wanted to make an eau de vie because it showcases the distiller and the ingredients that you're using, the distilling material, be it wine or beer or whatever. And so I sourced my own beer and distilled it, aged it as a clear eau de vie whiskey, moonshine, I guess you'd call it, for 4 years, and then launched it in 2010, called it Doubled and Twisted. And it's malty and floral and spicy from the hops and 99 proof, and it's just got a huge body. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And we entered it in the Ultimate Spirits Challenge of 2010. It took the highest points of any whiskey, clear or barrel aged, in 2010. I'm like, hey, that's cool.
Nice.
And I told my dad, and I said, hey, I'm selling the D&T. Just won the highest points in the Ultimate Spirits Challenge. Like, I knew it was good. I'm like, hey, I'm just telling you, man, someone else likes it too. And he's like, congratulations, you're a goddamn master distiller. Let's drink some and smoke cigars. I'm like, hell yeah. Okay.
There you go.
So that was my ceremony. And
Nice. Do you think
I'm
your
proud of
children will also,
my voice?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of Ivan's favorite words is distillery.
Nice.
And Miles, who's 8, he knows heads, hearts, and tails. He knows where the distillate comes out. He works the knob on the gas, and he's here, loves the bottling line and stuff too. And
Really
I'm showing him everything.
Yeah, that's
it's
great.
Really neat. It's really cool because I want them to hurry up, and well, I don't have them not hurry up, but we're ready to have them start working so we can go, I don't know, go to Mexico and chill out and go fishing or something like that for a day or two.
Yeah, that sounds nice. Sounds nice. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It was great chatting with you and getting to know you a little bit more. And I appreciate, all of your Charbay's support over the last couple of years at the Distillery Festival, and look forward to continuing to have you guys be a part of all of that.
Cool. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, I'll talk to you real soon, Marko. Have a great day.
See ya.